like you know how like they was doing a lot of drugs and shit like that. I could see how you be emotional as hell because I used to fuck with a lot of drugs at one point, and like you're pretty much creating a chemical imbalance in yourself if you're always doing drugs. So like that's gonna create a lot of emotions because like just think about that. Say you're popping perks all the time. When I was doing shit like that, lean shit like that, bro, you wake up the next day mad, pissed off. So like imagine you're doing that and then all of a sudden like you got some days free. Oh boom, we about to turn up. We got some X pills, Molly, whatever. So boom, all of a sudden you're up here and then oh shoot, I'm gonna take this perk, smoke some weed and calm down. Now you're all the way down here. And then when that wears off, you're pissed off. And then oh, let's turn up, drink some alcohol. Boom, you drink some alcohol. Now you're hung over, bro. Like that's just like emotional roller coaster for your body. So it's like I feel like that does create a lot of what we're hearing, you know what I'm saying? And then when people get addicted to it, it's just downhill from there.
What I mean, there's got to be a reason they're there in the first place. I mean, something went wrong in sober life, right?
For sure. Like, but just being young, you just think about it. I feel
Going
like
overboard with the remedies.
yeah, and the fact that you even consider it a remedy, like from the time that I was young, bro, like watching adults and just like shit like that, man, they get pissed off and be like, man, fuck that shit. Go light up a cigarette, you know what I'm saying? So you just thinking like when you get pissed off or stressed, I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette. And then you start seeing people like, man, I had a fucked up ass day, man. Let's get wasted. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you just be thinking like that's what you do. And then on top of that, like when you're young, you got an ego and shit. So a lot of people aren't like talking, like they're not like really talking through their problems. They're trying to get to the root of it and shit like that. So that's where drugs comes into play, especially like people who feel like they don't got nobody to talk to. Shit, let me just drown this shit out with drugs or alcohol, whatever the case is. I feel like that's the main thing, you know what I'm saying? That's why like I'm pretty much for the most part I'm sober. Like I went through that phase already. You know what I'm saying? I started fucking around with drugs and shit when I was in the 7th grade. So it's like I was by the time I was 20, 22, I was already 10 years deep in that shit. So that shit got old to me. Especially like when you start damn near self-destructing and realizing you're the problem, that it's like you gotta either stop or you're just gonna continue to be the problem, and then you're not even allowed to be sad no more because it's your fault.
Yeah, yeah. Shit, well, I remember one time I was drinking one time. That's why I don't fucking drink no more. I was passed the fuck out in the bathroom. Fucking threw up in the toilet and just passed out, like literally right there on the bathroom floor next to the toilet. Motherfuckers come waking me up and shit. I'm like, okay, this right here is not cool.
I
I
don't
was
like.
like, shit, I'm through with all this. And
Mhm.
I was at the time, I was real big in fitness. I thought I was about
Yeah.
to go to the UFC at one point. Like,
Mhm.
so shit, I just had that discipline.
Yeah, and like I just don't like feeling like shit, and like I like feeling good more than I hate feeling like shit so much that it's like I'm not even willing to get shit faced because I hate being hungover. I hate feeling hungover. I hate feeling like I can't get up and do what I gotta do. You know what I'm saying? I just don't like feeling like that. So it's like I don't really fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? I may sip a little wine, sip a little. I love tequila. I love the way tequila smells. I love the way I love tequila with limes and shit like that. Tequila with Sprite. Like I just like the taste, like not even just getting faded. So it's like I might fuck with it here and there. I like beer and shit like that too. So it's just like, but
Damn, that's the worst drug out of all them motherfuckers.
out.
Motherfucker, you talking about you sober?
Nah, I don't do that shit regularly. You know what I'm saying? Like the
Yeah,
most
I'm
I've drank
fucking.
in like the past month is just like some wine and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I didn't even really get faded or nothing. But I can't fuck with that shit, bro. And that's the thing. Like how I was saying earlier, like when you're doing all kinds of different drugs and shit like that, when you throw alcohol in the mix with that, it amplifies that shit to another level. Like you're gonna get fucked up. Like if you're taking Xanax and then you start drinking alcohol with it, you're gonna black out. You know what I'm saying? If you like
Yeah.
me personally, if I was like popping perks all day and then somebody's like, hey, let's go turn up, let's go drink, I get violent as fuck. So it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'd be ready to do some shit. So it's just like I can't do shit like that because I'm already damn near a little like I'm not hot headed, but like if there's a problem, bro, like I'm into it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like let throw that other shit into the equation, and it's just a recipe for disaster. So it's like I don't know. I feel like I'm just introspective enough to know what I can and can't do, and I went through the experience to know what I can and can't do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I don't fuck with shrooms no more. Motherfucker. Shit, I done blacked out just off of Xanny like alone, like without the alcohol.
Mm.
But something else. A lot of these, a lot of these drug users don't know this shit. Once you see a lot of people don't know that it pretty much doesn't matter what pill you take or what drug you take. When you take alcohol, especially if it's like digestible, it's like shit when you drink alcohol with it, that shit hits your fucking stomach and turns into a whole different drug.
Yep.
So you use alcohol and Xanax at the same time. I don't know the names of all this shit, you know what I mean? People gotta Google it, but you know what I mean? If you look it up, like you take them both, there's this illusion that you know what I mean, that you're taking two separate things, but they bond when they hit your body.
Yeah, you're
That's what's
creating a new high. Like that's why a lot of people mix drugs. I used to like mixing drugs. I used to like popping like uh oxys and shit. Like it's funny like how people say perks, bro, just because like I damn near say that as a general term, but I was more so on the oxy, bro. Like I pop a oxy or whatever, hydros, oxy, you know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I fuck with oxys,
Oxy,
Klonopins,
oxy, that was
Vikes.
oxy was my favorite shit. And then like I liked it better than lean just because I wouldn't get sleepy. And I like smoking weed. Like I remember me and my homies, we would just go hop in the car and we would go to like a little spot, post up, smoke. And I remember I would always when he would come scoop me, I'll pop me a little oxy and then I'll go smoke. By the time the weed wore off, I'm still feeling that pill. Like I was fucking with that shit, but like damn, like you eventually start realizing how much of an effect that has on your like mentality and just the way you think about things. You know what I'm saying? You get mad. You're just hella emotional. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I know a lot of people when they hear the word emotional, they think, oh, like you on some like bitch shit. But like even getting angry, that's you're being emotional. You know what I'm saying? So it's
See,
just
I don't be like that. I be like, bruh, I be like
it's
the
not when I'm it's not
total
when I'm on
opposite.
it. It's not when I'm on it. It's after it wears off.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Mm. Like I remember one time I went to I had drank some drink and I think I popped like a few hydros or something like that, bro. I woke up the next day, bro. I think I had another one, popped another one, bro. I just was in the worst mood, bro. I remember I was just in a bad mood and I was just high. So like when you be high on that shit, you damn near you just don't give a fuck. You just all slow and shit like that. I remember I went to go register for some classes, bro, at Swick, and I was just like talking to the dude, and like my eyes are like going like that and shit. He's asking me questions. I'm just like, yeah, like you just don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you get to a point like when I was younger, bro, I would go to shit like when I was working and shit. I was working at Hooters. I'll go up in that bitch, bro. Like I don't even. It's crazy how like I was doing shit like that. Shit, I'll go up in that bitch. I know I have work, bro. I might smoke me a blunt, pop me something, go up in that bitch like everything normal. Like
Yeah. That's what I did. That's why I don't fuck with the Zans no more. I mean, unless you got some. But shit, I took a Zan. Shit, I'm sitting at my house and I had to work in like 30 minutes. So I'm like, okay, I'm about to pop half this shit. Literally, bruh, I took half a Xanax bar, bruh. And I don't know what kind, how many milligrams or what, but this motherfucker packed a punch, bruh. Like a real punch. And I went up there and I didn't know because my partner had only gave me one. Like he had two and he's like, you want one? So I had one and I let that shit sit in the cabinet forever. So popped that bitch in, broke it in half, popped that shit, went to work. Where I got to work, these motherfuckers, I mean, they're fucking just like zombie, like like this, motherfucker. Fucking, I ended up getting sent home, bruh. And then I came back the next day. I'm like, yeah, bruh, sent me home. Like, I was only here for like 15 minutes, motherfucker. Like, and he already sent me home. Come to find out, I had been there for like 3.5 hours, bruh. Literally just standing there, not doing shit. Like, they gave me every chance, like every chance that they could have gave me, they gave to me. Like, literally, I'm standing back there the whole fucking time for hours, bro. And it, like, I just think it's wild that it took them that long to send me home.
Mm-hmm.
But I just be fucking, I'm not like the most approachable person, so they waited that fucking long to send me home.
Yeah, bro.
But
It's like,
once that happened, that shit happened, and I'm like, okay, like, that is not a good look, bro. Like, I can't go out like that again. It
yeah.
was a bad look.
Mm-hmm.
Cause
Um,
I want these motherfuckers to think like that. I got a drug problem like that, bro. Like, I'm not
yeah.
one of these. I'm not one of these fucking, just some tweaking ass motherfucker out here trying to get a fix.
Yeah, yeah. You just got caught down bad that one time, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I just got caught slipping, and I
Mhm.
even tried to do this shit right. Like, shit, I even broke that shit in half. I ain't popped the whole thing,
That
but
happened to
yeah,
me
this
before.
this motherfucker packed a punch though. That
Yep.
was the last time I took one. Last time. That was it.
That's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember I went to a party one time, and I remember I had took a half a bar. I split a bar, and I was drinking tequila, I think, bruh. I remember like we damn near documented the whole shit on Snapchat, and then I just remember the next day watching that shit. Like, I don't remember any of this. Like I wasn't even there. Like, and that shit, I don't like that. Like, I don't, because that damn near means that you wasn't in control. Like, I feel like if you can't remember it, like, well, you know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, and then like on
yeah.
top of that, like we drove back. Like both of us was on Zans too, and then we drove back. Like we looking at the snaps. We was at the gas station putting gas in the car and everything like that, and like we couldn't remember none of it. I was like, oh hell no, we could have killed ourselves.
For real. Yeah, that shit ain't no game.
I know motherfuckers who done flip their cars on that shit. You know what I'm
Shit,
saying?
I know
Like,
two people. I know two
mhm.
people that done fucked the car up. One was his, the other one was a rental. Like, damn, bro, you fucked the rental up.
And see, you just gotta learn, bro. Like, I feel like there's a lot of people who they see. That's the thing. That's one thing that I like, that I kind of like went through all that early. So I kind of learned. Like, I learned early on, like what you can and can't do, what you shouldn't be doing, and how it affects you and everything like that. To the point where, like, I knew when to stop. A lot of people, they haven't gone. They wasn't 10 years deep into that shit to know that, like, all right, bro, like I might need to slow down. A lot of people
Yeah.
just started maybe 2 years, two years deep into that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, and I
Look,
never.
here's a good way for people to know when it's time to quit a drug. Okay, one of the straight up answer is, if you wake up the next fucking day and there's anything about that day that you don't remember, there's anything, you know what I mean, anything like definitive, anything that you really should remember that you don't, hey, it's time to cut it out.
For sure.
You know what I mean? If you drink too much and you end up blacking out like that, like, bruh, it's time to stop. Like, not slow down, you know what I mean? Because you couldn't slow down in the first place. That's why you where you at. You know what I mean? So it's not slow down. Like, you have to
Yeah.
quit it. You gotta quit.
And
I mean,
honestly,
to the degree that you can. You know what I mean? I get there's withdrawals and you know what I mean, psychological withdrawals, physical withdrawals. You know what I mean? I get all that too.
hold on, I'm finna turn my fan off. Shit cold. But yeah, and that's, oh, honestly, psychedelics, bro. Like, it was weird. Once, like, I was fucking with psychedelics heavy for a second, and then like I just had like a strong ass trip one time. Like, I don't know what it did that just made that shit go so hard, but it was just like that made me not really want to fuck with nothing for real. Like, but now I can't say that just made me stop forever. Like, cause there was periods of time where I like dove back into the shit a little bit, play with other shit a little bit, and then now I'm just like, bro, I'm just kind of over that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but like psychedelics, I still fuck with heavy. I'm kind of cool on the acid. I've done so much acid. It's like, yeah, like I'm cool. I want to fuck with shrooms and DMT. Like I've already done shrooms.
That's how I am too. Like, bro,
Yeah,
I don't fuck with the acid. Like, acid is just like normal shit. Like,
like
bro,
smoking a blunt, damn
I
near.
used to be, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Like, bro, I used to fucking pop acid at work. Like, be tripping at work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that shit.
I ain't saying I took the strongest shit ever, because I know there's some shit you could take where, motherfucker, you ain't about to just go to work. You know what I mean? But yeah, some shit off the street, same shit everyone else took.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
I done took some shit that. And honestly, bro, like it was like me, like I was just trying to figure shit out for a while when I was like taking that shit. But just because the first time, like I took shrooms or whatever, but like the first time I took acid, like I was just like, damn, bro, like it just triggered something in me where I was just like, I gotta do that again. Like it was like calling me back to it damn near. Like and not even on no like, oh bro, get trippy, like and like nah, like it was just like calling me back like I got something to figure out in there, you know what I'm saying? And like you know,
Is there any specific visual that you remember from early trip days?
early trip, I remember just like the first time I ever did it. I remember I don't know what it was, but I just remember seeing like something at a slant like this, but it was like a bunch of them. Like and it was like me and Ma was like trying to jump in that shit. Like we was like, you see that shit, bro? He was like, yeah, I see that shit. Like it was like I was like, it's like it was like angled like this, and I don't know what it was. And we was like, it's like you could jump in that shit. Like the shit just looks so crazy. I don't know, but like it was like the more I started like getting a lot more introspective with it though, and like doing it by myself, like that's when it really started getting deep, and I just started like asking questions about myself and like existence and like my own existence and like my behavior. Where do I sit in this in the scope of all this shit, you know what I'm saying? And it just kept getting deeper and deeper and deeper. And then you go through different phases where you're like depressed. You're kind of like, what the fuck is going on? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like just all kind of shit like that. But that's damn near what made me lock in heavy with the music though. I just remember one day I was just tripping and I was just making beats while I was tripping, bro. And I was like, I love this shit. I was like, from here on out, like I'm doing this shit every single day, and I'm not gonna stop. That was in like
Yeah, I
2000.
remember in my early trip days, bro, I took some fucking acid, and I remember I was sitting in a garage and I was looking at the ground, and this shit just in front of me just kind of morphed into this three-dimensional abyss of gears, real slow moving gears. You know what I mean? Moving real slow. And it just looked like they just kept going forever and ever along this garage floor. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Real slow turning gears, but there was a beauty to it though. You know what I mean? It was like this mechanical, non-soul having structure, but this shit was just like it just had this symmetry, like the way it moved, it had this symmetry to where it would, I mean, I didn't see, I mean, it, there was just this some kind of symmetry that just brought all of it all together. You know what I mean? It was like every one of these gears just kind of all related together. Like you could tell because they'd be turning, but it'd be all in sync. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
you just kind of knew that, you know what I mean, when one was turning, the rest of them were too. Brought, you know, it's kind of, which is kind of weird how, you know what I mean, it took acid and it just kind of brought the ground to life to me.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely experienced that. Like, especially on like shrooms and shit like that. It just seemed like everything, like, you like, damn, everything's breathing. Like, everything's breathing. Ah,
Literally, I took shrooms and I went into the stall in a bathroom, and I was looking at the wall in front of me, bro, and that shit had a pulse.
yeah, that shit get intense, real. Like, I don't know. Like, I definitely to anybody watching this, I wouldn't even recommend doing it. But if you do want to, just make sure you do it safely in a controlled environment and everything's just cool. But like shit, that's just what we just got into that. You know what I'm saying? And if you feel like, and don't self-medicate with drugs too, even though you may hear it in music. I feel like, you know how like this whole conversation of
what do you mean? What do you mean like with what? Because I mean, the whole world can't just walk around all sober. I mean,
yeah, but what I'm saying is like do everything responsibly. Like I feel like there's a responsible way to do everything that you do, and
true.
like you know
I
how a
think
lot of
that too. No matter what the drug, just about,
exactly, and
just about.
people say there's even like, all right, this sounds crazy as hell, but I know people who like they responsibly do like heroin, like you know what I'm saying,
Oh yeah, I know them too.
like people snort that shit because it don't get you as addicted as banging that shit like in your veins and shit, you know what I'm saying, and they don't do it all the time, like they might just, you know what I'm saying, but like, what I'm saying is there's this whole thing of like people needed to be responsible with their lyrics. Like if you see it all over the internet, people talking about drugs and people overdosing and dying, like stop talking about drugs in your music and shit like that. But it's like one thing you got to understand, like the thing I would say to be more specific, because I just hate people saying general things without too much context, without enough context. And
I
that
hate that
is
shit too.
right. That would be, don't don't take like, don't hear it in a song and then do what they say in a song. Like that's how like people would be like, I pulled up a four, you know what I'm saying? Your first time sipping lean, bro. My first time sipping lean, I pulled up a one, bro. A one ounce of lean. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't like you build a tolerance. That's why they start pouring fours and eights and shit like that. Like you don't just jump in and just do that. You're gonna like get fucked up, like super fucked up. Like that's the irresponsibility that comes from listening to music and thinking you can do what you heard in the music. Oh, Future said pull a four, so I'm gonna pull a four. That's not how it works. Oh, Future took 56 bars on a European tour and it was crazy. I'm gonna take 56 bars. No, you start off with a quarter. Like, and I'm not like, what's the word? I'm not like trying to tell you how to do it, but that's what, like how you said there's a responsible way to do shit like that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like you don't just like, and I feel like that's why a lot of people are ODing and shit, bro, because they're saying, oh, you just take a bar, or you just take a bar. Let me just take a whole bar. Like, you don't do that. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, yeah, you shouldn't be what's the word? You shouldn't be, what's the word, encouraging people to do drugs. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like art is art, and if that's who you are and you're being honest and that was what you went through, then I mean, say that. You know what I'm saying? Like if I make a song about that period of time in my life, then you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna say that, but I'm always gonna damn near put a disclaimer on it, like nah, that ain't it, that ain't the move. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's not at all. Like I did some wild shit, pissed some people off, hurt some people, just because, you know what I'm saying, you're out of control, and that's not cool. You know what I'm saying? That's damn part of being a man and shit like that, like knowing when you wrong and shit. So you got to be responsible when it comes to shit like that. The drugs is definitely not nothing to play with, because you can die on that shit.
For real, for real.
That's what somebody need to take this and show this to the world. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to that music shit, how everybody's like, oh, and everybody needs to stop the drugs and shit like that. Like you just got to be responsible. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, like, it's like, don't be buying shit off the street. Like, you don't know where the hell it came from. They got fentanyl and Xanax and shit like that. Like, if it ain't coming from a
See,
script.
that's one of the fucked up things, man, is because these motherfuckers will make drugs that make the drugs illegal, but then I mean, shit, it's like it's more dangerous to get the drugs off the street, so the shit should just be legalized.
I mean,
I mean,
technically,
at least,
Xanax is a prescription drug, though. It is legal.
yeah, yeah. But the thing is, it's illegal to have Xanax on you if you don't have a prescription for it.
Yeah, facts.
And And also it'd be technically if you had a prescription, then it wouldn't be self-medicating.
Mm-hmm. But it's not hard to get a Xanax prescription either. Like an Adderall prescription. It's not hard to get an Adderall prescription either. And like, I've never really liked Adderall. Like, I took Adderall and I was like, I don't fuck with this because it makes me feel sick. You know what I'm saying? I've done it a handful of times, probably no more than 10. But like I was just like, I don't like feeling sick. And then I get super, like, the crash is terrible. Like, you feel hella depressed, and it's just, it's too much. Like, it's not worth that. You know what I'm saying? But like, what is your perspective on that? Like, everybody talking about the music and like the music with the drug culture and music, basically.